On the news tonight, Christians celebrate Christmas festivities globally. Unidentified driver runs into participants of Christmas procession, injuring many in Gombe. And villagers feared dead, others injured as fighter jet targeting Lakurawa terrorist group mistakenly bombs two communities in Sokoto State. And on the foreign scene, dozens of people die as passenger plane crashes with 67 people on board in Kazakhstan. Good evening and Merry Christmas. This is news at 7 on Western Spring Television. I am Femi Ojo. As Nigerian Christians join their counterparts all over the world for this year's Christmas celebrations, state governors in the country have sent out messages preaching love, peace, and unity among the people. Even as Nigerians grapple with difficult economic realities during the festivities, the governors noted that it is important to come together as a people to celebrate the joy, peace, and hope that the season brings. In his message, the governor of Lagos State, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, encouraged the people to embrace tolerance, unity, and understanding with neighbors, no matter the differences. Governor Seyi Makinde of Oyo State called on Christians to use the opportunity of the festivity to pray for the state and Nigeria and to also spread love among the people while also praying for those mourning. In his own message, Governor Usman Ododo of Kogi State reminded Christians that Christmas is a time to reflect on the boundless love of God. Governor Doye Diri of Bayelsa State admonished Christians and privileged individuals to reach out to those who do not have to enable them to celebrate Christmas. And as Christians celebrate Christmas, the Catholic Bishop of Osogbo Diocese, Most Reverend John Oyejola, has encouraged Nigerians to have total trust in the Almighty amid what he called the world of deceit and violence. Speaking in an interview with WSTV News, the bishop in his Christmas message said, people should be hopeful and do what is right. He also said the failure to have faith in God has led to several difficulties and mistakes.
The question is that you want to be friends of God? If you want to be friend of God, you have to trust God. You trust totally without any fear because God doesn't disappoint. God will never disappoint anybody. Trust him and walk with him. So the message of this season is that every one of us should learn from this child Jesus who was born into an environment of poverty, family that is poor, yet they never lost hope. Mary had nothing. Joseph was just a carpenter. And they were so proud of themselves. Jesus himself went out with confidence. He raised his head among the spears. He never said, I'm from the poor family, oh, I didn't have any food. Oh, no. He even brought hope to those who were poorer than him. That he was even poorer than. All of them had to come to him, to listen to him. So the message of Christmas is that we are people of hope. God has brought us joy. We are people of light, the way we live our life. So the light now has to shine. We have to turn away from darkness to light, from deceit to truthfulness, from violence to peace. That is the message of Christmas. It's not about eating and drinking. It's part of it because when somebody is joyful and happy, you eat, you celebrate. But we should know, why are we celebrating? Why do we eat? Why do we dance? It's because God has turned our sorrow to joy, our mourning to dancing. So God is telling us how much he loves us. The unconditional love of God for humanity. And everybody must become beacon of hope, beacon of truthfulness, beacon of justice in the world. Because when you know this, you have to reflect it to other people.
In the same vein, the Catholic Bishop of Sokoto Diocese, Matthew Uka, has urged Christians in Nigeria not to forget that they are the light of the world. In his Christmas message on Wednesday, Uka said Christians cannot continue to blame the Constitution, the judiciary, the police, and other public servants for the corruption in their society. He noted that corruption is another word for not keeping the words and promises made by Christians at baptism. He lamented that the forces of secularism are determined to empty Christmas of its core essence, which is the good news of joy and light to the world. While commenting on the recent stampedes in Ibadan, Abuja, and Anambra, the Catholic Bishop of Sokoto Diocese blamed government failures to address hunger crises. Bishop Kuka said the stampedes are a metaphor for the situation of desperation that citizens have been thrown into. Meanwhile, the national chairman of the Labour Party, Julius Abure, has regretted that not many Nigerian homes can afford to celebrate Christmas due to the prevailing economic challenges in the country. He said these in a Christmas message to Nigerians issued in Abuja on Wednesday by the party's National Publicity Secretary, Obiora Ifo. In his message, Abure charged Nigerians to take the Christmas celebration as a season to love, serve, and forgive one another. He urged them to always show compassion to millions of Nigerians living below the poverty level. In a rather sad development, the Gombe State Police Command has confirmed that a tragic accident occurred during a Christmas procession on Wednesday when an unidentified driver rammed into participants, injuring many near the Women's Center opposite OG Estate along the Gombe-Bauchi Expressway. The procession, an annual tradition where the Christian community pays homage to the Emir of Gombe, Shehu Abubakar, and Governor Muhammadu Yahya, was disrupted when the vehicle struck the crowd. Participants from Tumfure were en route to the Emir's ground when the incident occurred. Gombe State Police Public Relations Officer DSP Buhari Abdullahi clarified the situation, dismissing a report of the tragic incident being a massacre. While declining to specify casualties, Abdullahi assured that those injured had been taken to the State Specialist Hospital and Federal Teaching Hospital for treatment. The Senate leader, Okpeyemi Bamidele, has emphasized the importance of tax reforms as part of a broader legislative agenda aimed at economic restoration and national development. In his Christmas message on Wednesday, the senator underscored the need for a collective effort to address Nigeria's challenges, particularly through innovative legislative measures. Drawing from the teachings of Christ, Senator Bamidele called for reflection and compassion during the season, urging Nigerians to embrace hope and contribute to the nation's growth. He reiterated the commitment of the 10th National Assembly to enact laws that create an enabling environment for businesses, attract investment, and alleviate the economic burden on citizens. At the core of his message was the defense of the Tax Reform Bills 2024, which he described as a set of 4 initiatives tailored to reverse Nigeria's unfavorable economic indicators. Now to security. Many villagers were feared dead, while several others injured as a fighter jet targeting Lakurawa terrorist group mistakenly bombed 2 communities in Silame local government area of Sokoto State. The affected communities were Gidan Sama and Rumtua. According to locals, the incident occurred around 7 a.m. on Wednesday. It was gathered that the 2 villages were located close to Surame Forest, where identified as another hideout of Lakurawa and bandits. The chairman of Silame local government area, Bubakar Daftarana, however, confirmed the attack, saying they were still assessing the level of damage caused by the strike. In Katsina State, at least 10 kidnapped victims are said to have been rescued from the hands of kidnappers by operatives of the State Police Command. Though four of the rescued victims sustained various gunshot wounds as a result of the bandits' attack and were immediately rushed to the hospital for immediate medical attention, two of the victims succumbed to their injuries and receiving treatment at a hospital. In a statement released on Wednesday, police spokesman ASP Abubakar Sadiq said efforts were ongoing to apprehend the fleeing suspect as investigation proceeds. The Commissioner of Police, Katsina State Command CP Aliyu Abubakar Musa, while commending the officers' display of gallantry and dedication to duty, charged them to sustain the temper. He further urged members of the public with useful information on suspected criminal activities to report to the nearest police station for prompt and decisive action. Staying with security, the Anambra State Police Command says its operatives have arrested one Chukuma, who be a 32-year-old male from Umago village, Igboko Agwata local government area in connection with an alleged case of attempted kidnapping and extortion. According to a statement by a police spokesperson to Chukwu Ikenga, the arrest was made by operatives of the anti-courtesim squad in Uguuku. The suspect is accused of demanding a ransom of 1.2 million naira through threat of abduction. It added that the arrest follows a similar case late last month where the command apprehended a couple specializing in sending threatening messages and extorting victims under the guise of planned abductions. The police said the couple confessed to their crimes and admitted to destroying SIM cards used in their illicit activities. The Commissioner of Police, Nage Itam, reiterated the command's commitment to pursuing all cases to a conclusive end to ensure that suspects are apprehended and justice is served. Nigeria experienced multiple security incidents, including a landmine explosion in Borno State that killed 7 people and the abduction of 50 people in Zamfara State. These events, alongside several kidnap attacks across the nation, including attacks by Boko Haram, ISWAP, and the emergence of the new terrorist group Lakurawa, heightened the security situation in 2024. WSTV News, in this report, gives an overview of the state of security in the nation through the year and solutions as preferred by experts.
Nigeria in 2024 is confronted by multiple security challenges, notably in the northern part of the country, alongside long-running violence between herders and farming communities spreading from the central belt southward, not to mention the separatist Biafra agitation in the southeast. Violence, particularly by the Boko Haram insurgency, has displaced over 3 million people over the past 8 years, creating a massive humanitarian crisis and prompting the rise of civilian vigilante self-defense groups that pose new policy dilemmas and possible security risks. Nigeria's security situation is complex, marked by the involvement of different state and non-state actors in conflicts and human rights violations. Other several major insecurity drivers include attacks by self-proclaimed Islamist groups, criminal and cult-related violence, banditry, and kidnappings, which have contributed to the country's instability. What are the factors contributing to insecurity in Nigeria? Security expert Dr. Chuks Maha has this to say.
Well, there are many factors involved. We can look at it political, economical, and personal. Having said this, what has created the upsurge in this criminal element, which has now become a menace to us here in Nigeria? It's very disturbing to a few of us in particular, very scary to almost everybody, irrespective of who you are in society, because anybody can be a victim of this crime. First and foremost, our borders are porous, locally and internationally. You could move from one hamlet, one state to another, one local government to another, one state to another, and from this country, outside the country to a neighboring sister nation without you being detected. That's the first thing. Secondly, I want to say here, without any reservation or anything of that sort, that this crime has little to no investments. You don't need to invest anything. You don't need to be smart. You don't need to have any particular skill. Anybody can go into this business of kidnapping. However, the market of kidnapping is so wide because when you think of the population of Nigeria of over how bad they say in Nigeria, in pidgin English, bad, you go bad reach at least 50,000 kokomot for each victim that is being kidnapped. So when you multiply that, an aggregate of, let's say, 10, 15, 20 persons per day, per week, you can see that that salary, you can never get it anywhere in the country. So these are one of the major reasons why this crime goes on.
Data from the Armed Conflict Location and Event Data Project shows that there were 57,279 fatalities from security-related incidents between 29th of May 2015, when former President Muhammadu Buhari assumed office, and 18th of May 2023, just before Bola Tinubu took over office. Apparently, President Tinubu inherited a country riddled with growing insecurity, but reading the mood in the country well, the new president promised to make security a top priority of his administration. You will recall in his inaugural speech, Tinubu promised, among other things, to provide security personnel with better training, equipment, and salary. So, did Nigeria's security improve in 2024? The European Union Agency for Asylum, in its Country of Origin Information Report on Nigeria, states that Nigerians lodged 21,000 applications for international protection in the EU between January 2023 and March 2024. Monthly levels fluctuated between 1,100 and 1,700. The record high 1,700 applications was recorded in March 2024, the highest since May 2022. According to data sourced and analyzed by the International Center for Investigative Reporting, at least 2,336 people were killed in various violent attacks within the first quarter of 2024. According to a report of the United Nations Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs, the number of people abducted in 2024 rose to an estimated 7,400 people, stating that the Northwest region has been worst hit by far, with nearly two-thirds the number of victims as the other regions combined. Another report with a focus on food security by the Famine Early Warning Systems Network says increased level of insecurity in northern Nigeria over 2024 is marked by banditry, attacks, and kidnappings, which continue to forcibly displace local populations. Also, the Food and Agriculture Organization and its partners during the year stated that over 31.8 million Nigerians are suffering from acute food insecurity compounded with malnutrition among women and children. However, the Minister of Interior, Dr. Olubunmi Tuji-Ojo, believes otherwise. The minister said that the security situation in the country has improved in the last 9 months of 2024, stating that the federal government has put in efforts to stem the tide of insecurity, including surveillance of Nigeria land borders.
I will tell you, the command and control that we built for the airports and the PNIPR, it's for border security in terms of our airspace, in terms of our airports. That had been done. Number two, in terms of our land border, I wouldn't want to divulge too much because of security considerations, but I'll tell you this. Today, there's surveillance in a lot of our border. We have not yet covered everything. Of course, I tell people, Nigeria came together as one, was amalgamated in 1914. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu did not become president in 1914. He became president in 2023. So nobody expects him to solve the problem of 109 years in 1 year. But in a reasonable space, I will tell you, we have more than half of our border points now, border posts are automated. There is real-time communication, there is visuals, there is a lot of processes going in terms of surveillance. So you will see the border space today is not what it used to be. There's real-time communication. Just as I said, this is 2024. This is not 1984. So you cannot secure your border without technology.
While Nigeria faces security challenges on several fronts, including cyber attacks that culminated in huge losses, sensitive data exposure, and disruption of services of many organizations, experts have suggested plausible solutions to the problem of insecurity in the country. Security expert Dr. Chuks Maha, who reiterated that security is not the responsibility of the government alone, urged Nigerians to be self-aware and observant of their milieu.
First and foremost, as Nigerians or inhabitants of this country, we make ourselves so subject to this crime. We are not mindful of our environments. We just walk along carelessly, go on the road carelessly. Most times we travel for no real reasons. Most travels can be avoided. You can use the phone instead of you traveling. Must you travel? And if you are to travel, how do you go about traveling? What kind of vehicle, what mode of travel are you going by with? And we should weigh these options in terms of security. And this will help to minimize. Where are you going to? Are you going to the countryside? That's one aspect. The second aspect, again, that as individuals, some of us carry so many things on us that expose our financial wealth. You're traveling away in a suit while traveling by public transport. Your perfume you're wearing is so strong, so loud, that sets you aside from others. Your wristwatch, the kind of phone you're carrying. And sometimes we even go into argumentative discussions, telling people, oh, I am this, I am this, I am that, while inside the public transport. Not knowing that there could be a fellow passenger inside the vehicle who could be an informant to kidnappers, and is just texting and passing information that so-and-so bus has so-and-so person inside, dressed so-and-so, the color of the apparel, that, this, that, and that, pick it is good mix. That is one.
For Nigeria to experience improved security come 2025, security agencies must be better coordinated along with performance monitoring and accountability. It is also vital to address the socio-economic factors that contribute to insecurity. The country needs job creation, poverty alleviation, and inclusive economic growth, among other solutions. Daniel Odeyemi, Western Spring Television News.
Still on security. Unidentified assailants have abducted the member representing Onitsha North constituency in the Anambra State House of Assembly, Justice Azuka. It was gathered that Azuka was abducted on Tuesday night while returning home on Ugwana Pampa Road, inland town in Onitsha, the commercial hub of the state. Azuka, chieftain of the Labour Party, regained his mandate after the court sacked the People's Democratic Party's Douglas Ibuna, who had been declared the winner of the 2023 election. He was said to have been whisked away to an unknown location after the abduction. Details surrounding the incident remain unclear, but residents have expressed shock and called for urgent measures to address security concerns. The spokesperson for the Anambra State Police Command, SP Tochukwu Ikenga, also confirmed the incident on Wednesday and said efforts were underway to rescue the abducted lawmaker. And at least 14 Nigerians have been declared wanted by the International Criminal Police Organization, Interpol, for alleged human and drug trafficking, robbery, cheating, and forgery. Red notices published on the Interpol website stated that the suspects are wanted by various countries. The individuals named in the notices include Felix Omorege, Jessica Dosonwan, Uche Egbe, Jude Zoma, Chinedu Ezonara, Benedict Okoro, Ikechukwu Obidiozo, and Alachi Stanley. Others are Buhari Salif, Timlo Nkem, Austin Costa, Okromi Festus, Akachi Vitus, and Mary Eze. Belgian authorities have issued a notice for Omorege, accusing him of leading a criminal organization involved in exploiting minors for prostitution. French authorities issued a notice for Edosonwan, accusing her of trafficking multiple victims in an organized operation and concealing proceeds of the crime. The notice stated that Egbe is wanted in Argentina for drug trafficking, while Uzoma is sought by Brazil for similar charges. You're watching News at 7 on Western Spring Television. Still to come. Governor Abba Yusuf pledges 670 million naira to combat malnutrition and enhance maternal